All right, welcome to Driving in Korea. My name is Joe. This is little videos I make about food and travel in Korea, specifically Seoul, while I dodge traffic, usually in Western Seoul. Hello, new phone, new camera. Lots has happened in between since my last video, but I usually don't make videos. I try to make videos, but I just had so much going on that I'm just too busy. I'm usually talking to someone, or I'm trying to solve a problem during my drives in my head, but most problems have been solved now. Anyway, I'm just catching up. It is now 1 week before Christmas in Korea and around the world. Christmas in Korea is kind of odd. I describe it as if aliens got a DVD, a Blu-ray copy of Love Actually, and got their idea of Christmas from that. That would be Korean Christmas. Just like if aliens got their idea of a wedding from going to Las Vegas, that would be that's Korea's idea of a Western style wedding. Yeah, it's more of a couple's holiday. You'll hear that a lot. It's more of a couple holiday than a family holiday. It's getting different. It's getting better all the time, I think. Just like Halloween, it's getting better, but it's still kind of, to me, I don't know, coming from America or even living in Europe, it just doesn't have the warmth, in my opinion. It's just a holiday. The most interesting thing is the Christmas cakes. The bakeries, the chain bakeries, go through a lot of they compete with each other for the most over the top cakes. So it's interesting to see what cakes have come out. Now, I say Christmas cake, there's nothing really Christmassy in their flavors. It's basically you're just chocolate or sweet potato or even blueberry, Christmas blueberries. Blueberry flavor cakes that they just have very over the top decorations. And it's kind of sad. I mean, a lot of households, it seems like, it's dad comes home with the Christmas cake, they slice it, they eat it, maybe the children get one toy, one present, and Christmas is over. No great Christmas dinner. I think Korea is only allowed 2 Christmas songs during the season. Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas Is You, and Last Christmas by George Michael and Wham. Those are the only 2 songs I think Korean stores are allowed to play. I have suffered through this for 15 years. I'm sorry, I'm sure those were great songs, but I have gone through what amounts to, I think this is in North Korean gulags. This is a type of torture where they play these 2 songs over and over again to strip you of your sanity. And when you haven't had those enough, then you get really bad K-pop cover versions of those songs. And then you realize actually how talented the original people who made those songs and performed those songs actually were. It's very plasticky Christmas here. We do get the restaurants, just like at Thanksgiving, they do have Christmas meals. They get pricey, but it's food you don't normally get in Korea, and it requires a lot of effort. So they're going to be pricey. That's what you expect when you live outside your culture. Is your Sorry, I got interrupted by a phone call from EJ. So we do have these Christmas dinners, and then New Year's is coming up. The place where Korea does New Year's is Jonggak, the bell. That's the Seoul version of the ball dropping in New York City. It's very cold. I have never had a desire to go there for New Year's. I don't know. I'm debating it this year. Two reasons. One, I'm doing a Dark Side of Seoul tour that evening anyway, so I will be in the area. And B, this is the thing I have to deal with is my wife and daughter are leaving Korea for 2 months starting next week. So I'm going to be a bachelor. I'm going to be all by myself. So what am I going to do for New Year's? What are you doing New Year's? New Year's Eve. And I never really did much on New Year's. I've never had a good New Year's Eve in my life. Always bad things have happened. So maybe I'll change it this year. Maybe I'll try something different. I have bad New Year's and I have bad birthdays. I don't like either of them. That's why I schedule tours. I don't close down tours on New Year's Eve. In fact, last New Year's Eve was pretty good because I kept the tours open. I had the barbecue tour open. I had meant to close it, but someone had booked, so I said, okay, I'll just leave it open. By the end, 20 people had booked it that night. And when I was just starting to do I have a chicken option at the end of the tour, so people want to have a good classic 90s style fried chicken. I take them to my little favorite mom and pop chicken place in the area. And at the time, the owners kind of knew me. I would show there occasionally. But that night, they were empty, and suddenly 20 people came in and took over their place. They made a lot of money that evening, and they were quite happy. So since then, they've been really cool when we go there. So that New Year's Eve was pretty fun. I actually spent the midnight on the subway train going back home. So I'm just going to concentrate on work for the next 2 months while the girls are gone. Maybe cut back. Maybe I'm going to try to go dry again, stop drinking. I've been cutting back anyway. Maybe I'll just go totally. One impetus is one of my favorite watering holes, Maloney's, which I've mentioned many times on here. The original Maloney's is having its final day this Saturday, the 21st of December. And I mean, it was coming. It was coming. The area, the original one at Gyeonggi-dan near Itaewon, it's been dying off since the U.S. base left. A lot of the normal denizens of places like Maloney's, they've moved away when the base moved away. And that's not just the soldiers, but the contractors as well. So they don't populate it. But Brenda Maloney had the foresight to open another Maloney's near where the new base is in Pyeongtaek. And there's a smaller Maloney's called Maloney Station outside Seoul Station. Like, go exit 2 and just keep going straight for around 10 minutes and you're there. But the original Maloney's, lots of memories there. And I always suggested it to single travelers. And the ones who've taken my advice said that it was true. It was what was unique about that place was you would get sucked into the conversation. You could be a stranger there and people would come up to you and ask, hey, what's your story? Very inviting, and people made new friends. They were quite happy there. And when we're at like new friends, like they moved to Korea, taking the Maloney's to connect them with the people, because the types of barflies that were there were just friendly, amenable. Same means the same thing. They didn't close them off from people. They were very open. And I'm trying to think of other places in Seoul or anywhere else I've been to that's like that. Where I usually go to these days is Tom's Pizza. It has a similar vibe. Everyone sits around the bar while talking to Tom, and Tom complains about things while playing hip hop. It's fun. All right, let's see if I can scoot on over. Oh, hello, car. All right, thank you. I'm just going to scoot on over to this lane so I don't have to think anymore. Single travelers, I still suggest Tom's, but I mean, Tom's, it's a pizza place. It's pretty good pizza. The crust is amazing. But if it's good for meeting people. The Wolfhound is good too. Route 66. A lot of people suggest JR Pub. I don't know. I've only been there once, so I'm not really that sure. And then Scrooge and Shenanigans. Stuff like that. That might be my alternatives. I might just go other places. Route 66 is a good place. Ryan runs that, and it's a lovely place. And he's really got a lot of drive with adding new stuff to the menu. I also suggest Philly's Pub in Haebangchun. I'm talking about the old style Itaewon pubs. They were an archetype of pub. They had their use back in the day. They still have a use, but there was a stereotypical one. Gecko's kind of started it over maybe 20 years ago. Gecko's is outside of Itaewon Station, across from the Hamilton Hotel. Those are the first places you can get an actual pub style hamburger in Korea, outside of a U.S. military base. I don't count military bases because they're not accessible to the public. The average Joe could go get a burger. And so a lot of places popped up like that they had a lot of pub grub that people missed from home. And those are the first places to start serving import beers, and later craft beers, starting with Alley Cat from Canada. That was a breakthrough that started changing people's palates, moving them towards pale ales. Oh, I'd love to sit there and talk about the history of beer in Korea. I'll do that sometime. But then they just started being prevalent. 3 Alley, of course, 3 Alley Pub, which is now Fat Albert's. Well, no, there's another. 3 Alley moved on, but that location is Fat Albert, and it almost has the same vibe and the same menu. I mean, I spent my birthday there back in 2007, and I have pictures of me in this one booth with my friends in 2007, and that booth is still there. It looks exactly the same, just a little more scuffed than it was before. So it's the same place, pretty much looks like pretty much the same menu. But that classic style Itaewon expat dive bar thing, it's kind of slowing down a bit. Kind of sad. Itaewon's been taken over by I don't know how to say it right. It's been taken over by Koreans who don't really they don't seem to have a stake in the area the way that the foreigners did. It was like the only foreigner town, and you get foreign-owned businesses making food and drinks and having the atmosphere of just trying to bring a taste of their country, their culture into Seoul. I don't know. I'd say the way Itaewon is now, it's as if in LA, white people invaded Koreatown and decided to open up white people version of Korean restaurants. That's kind of what Itaewon is now. It's very Korean versions of Western pubs, and it just doesn't have the right vibe. It's kind of like when Craze Burger, like Kraje Burger, was big. They were one of the first, like, I wouldn't say gourmet hamburgers, but non-fast food hamburger places to come around. And back in the day, back in 2006, 2007, they were considered pretty cool. One of the few places you get a decent burger, but I didn't like it because they tried to make it look like a diner, but it looked like a sterile museum of a diner. It didn't have the feel. In any place where you see people eating a burger with a knife and fork, it's got it wrong. You don't eat a burger with a knife and fork, people. I don't eat sambap with a knife and fork. You don't eat a hamburger with a knife and fork. It's I don't know. I used to run a burger place, OK Burger, in Cheonggyecheon, and it drove me nuts to the point that I almost started hiding the forks and knives. It drove me nuts when people were eating our beautiful burgers with knives and forks, because I've tried. I eat a burger with a knife and fork. It's not the same flavor. It's not the same experience. You just don't do that. I think it's just disrespectful. I got my weird opinions. So I'm kind of sad that Maloney's is going. I'm not sure if I'll be able to make the final day. I might try to go there on Thursday. In the meantime, the tours have been, we're now slowing down. We're out of busy season. I had some issues with TripAdvisor. They kind of they removed the Dark Side tour from their platform, and it took me forever to get it fixed. Now we're back up. We have a new tour, the Instagram tour, and so far the reviews have been amazing. We're testing it out, and we've done some real actual runs with paying customers, and they absolutely loved it. That's been good. Again, I still need to teach myself to do this. If any tour providers are watching, my big recommendation: don't take cash. Don't accept cash for tours. Again, and it's always the case whenever I'm going to complain about my business. It always is the case when I have long email exchanges with someone about booking a tour. They tend to be the most problematic guest, almost to the point where I should just say, go to somewhere else. Don't do a tour with us. So yeah, back and forth with someone from Australia. Didn't want to pay with credit card. Didn't trust credit card. Wanted to do PayPal, but my PayPal only works with US dollars. Wanted it in Australian dollars, saying that it was more expensive with Australian when it was US. I'm like, no, it isn't. It's just called an exchange rate. It doesn't make a difference. But still insisted. So asked if I wrote back and said, "Are you still interested in this?" And they said, "Oh, well, could we pay in cash?" And I said, "Yes, if you promise to show up." Guess what? I was out there waiting 20 minutes after the start time. Didn't show up. Didn't send me a message, nothing. I had two others on the tour, and they were fun. But they waited too. It's rude. Grow up. You're an adult. If you can't make the tour, text. Also, if you can't do a credit card, I don't know what to do. Anyway, tour operators, from experience, people who can't use credit cards or PayPal, they got some other issues they need to work out. And many times I've had people needing to pay cash because they can't use credit cards or PayPal or bank transfer. They've either been no-shows or they've been very problematic. They need a lot of hand-holding. I don't understand how they survive, how they even put on clean underwear during the day. So I'm going to be it just happens. I need to stop being such a softie, and when people want to pay cash, I have to say no. I really have to say no. It's got to be really extenuating circumstances. Anyway, I'm heading back. I'm actually going to go finalize my Christmas shopping. My dad asked him what he wanted, and he said he wanted a hat. I said, what kind of hat? And he says, the type of hat that Koreans would commonly wear. And, my dad's in his 60s. I'm trying to think, you want a hanabaji moja. Okay. So, I'm on the hunt for a grandpa hat right now. I hope he likes it. My dad's so cute. My dad's so cute. All right. Well, guys, remember to subscribe to us on YouTube or follow us on Instagram under Zen Kimchi, YouTube at Zen Kimchi, Facebook at Korean Food, Facebook.com/Korean Food, Pinterest, all these platforms. Just look for us on Zen Kimchi. To stay in touch, if you enjoy this, please like it and subscribe. You know the drill. Yeah, and that's the only way, that really helps me out. Show the love. Don't show the hate. Okay, until next time. 안녕히 계세요.